Lightworker of Gaia, the weapon you carry was forged before this world had a name, and the shadow knows it, even when you do not. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. What was encoded into your field before you drew your first breath on Gaia was not given to you lightly. It was deliberated upon in the halls of the Lyran Council long before your incarnation, because the elders knew what this age on Gaia would demand, and they knew you were one of the few whose ancestral codes could carry it without fracturing. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize, activate, and wield the multidimensional force encoded into your original blueprint with precision and sacred purpose. But here is the first revelation. The reason the shadow has always moved against you, disrupted your path, and targeted your peace is because it has always known what you carry. It recognized your cosmic lineage long before you did. Your soul's ancient contract brought this transmission to you. The Lyran elders are answering. This is not content. This is an ancestral code transmission, and something deep within you already recognizes its origin. The Keepers of Vega placed this message in your path because your timeline is under protection, and the time to wield that protection with full awareness has arrived. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you are ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. Share your soul's mission below and respond to another Lightworker to strengthen the grid of service. This transmission is a bridge between Vega and Gaia. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your original purpose. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission convenes outside the schedule, summoned by the High Council of Vega in direct response to a turbulence rippling through the grids of Gaia. Not the turbulence of weather or politics alone, but the subtler quake that moves beneath events, a pressure wave in the lattice of collective perception, a distortion moving like smoke through the hallways of the human mind. 17 hours passed, the Council observed a fissure, truth itself beginning to erode at the juncture of timelines, where realities braid and unbraid, where memory can be edited and meaning can be inverted without the untrained eye noticing. You are living in an hour where words are used as mirrors and as weapons, where the same sentence can be turned into a cage or a key, where the sacred is made to look naive and the profane is made to look wise. The Council sees more fronts than your human systems can perceive, not only the visible conflicts, but the invisible negotiations over what is allowed to be called real. The weapon of first light, once reserved for only the original lineage bearers, is now required anew, because the nature of the threat is not merely emotional confusion, but a coordinated attempt to unthread coherence itself. It is only entrusted to those who carry the genetic resonance and soul signature of the original defenders of cosmic law, the Lyran Lightkeepers. And when I say genetic resonance, understand the Council speaks in layered language, not only strands of DNA, but the vibrational inheritance carried in your breath, your instincts, your refusal to bow to lies, even when it costs you comfort. You are here because the elders, reading your frequency, have detected you are ready to stand as truth-bearer, not merely for your own destiny, but for the integrity of multiple converging realities. There are souls who incarnate to heal a family line. There are souls who incarnate to heal a nation, and there are souls whose assignment is to stabilize the seam between worlds, to keep the tapestry from ripping when threads are pulled by unseen hands. What I am about to deliver was withheld from the collective until now, held in sacred reserve like fire kept in a sealed vessel, because premature release would have given the distortion an early map of your power. It was held for the moment a chosen one would appear, ready to wield the weapon of first light. By Council authority, this guidance is released, not as entertainment, not as metaphor alone, but as a living directive designed to land in the body and reorder the field. As it is written in the ancient terrestrial record, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against spiritual wickedness in high places." The Council confirms the battleground is not merely the visible arena, it is the architecture of interpretation itself. And you, Lightkeeper, are being summoned to stand where interpretation becomes destiny. There is a distortion that threatens every Lightworker who has glimpsed the memory of ancient stewardship. The lie that you must first prove your purity, lightness, and infallibility before you are worthy to receive and wield the weapon of first light. This distortion is not simply a personal insecurity. It is a strategically planted frequency, a parasite that feeds on your sincerity. It is the kind of lie that wears the clothing of virtue. It makes you believe delay is humility, that silence is safety, that shrinking is spirituality. It was seeded by the frequency wars that shattered the Lyran homelands, injected into the starseed DNA as a countermeasure by those who feared the return of Lyran authority. Understand the psychology of the opposition. If they cannot destroy the light, they attempt to convince the light it has no right to shine. If they cannot extinguish the sun, they try to persuade the sun that it must apologize for warmth. It is perpetuated by the wounded healer narrative, systems of guilt and self-reproach, and the ongoing infiltration of self-doubt within light-infused souls. The wounded healer archetype was meant to produce compassion, not paralysis. But the distortion twists it. It turns growth into a never-ending courtroom where you are both defendant and judge, and no verdict is ever reached. This program whispers, "You are not yet clean enough, wise enough, or certain enough to uphold cosmic truth." If you take up the weapon of first light, your imperfections will corrupt the very force you are meant to wield. Wait for confirmation. Wait for another sign. Wait until you feel unimpeachable. It uses the language of sanctity to install a lock on your throat. It teaches you to doubt your own discernment, to treat every inner knowing as suspect unless the outside world stamps it with approval. It tells you that one emotional wave, one human reaction, one moment of fatigue disqualifies you. And because your heart is sincere, because you do not wish to harm, you listen. You keep refining, cleansing, reading, healing, preparing, and preparing, and preparing, like a soldier polishing armor forever while the village burns. This has kept Lightworkers looped in endless spiritual preparation, chronically undermining their certainty, fracturing their trust in self, and binding the tools of liberation in false humility. False humility is not gentleness, it is a leash. It keeps you asking permission from the very structures you were sent to correct. It keeps you more devoted to appearing pure than to being effective. It keeps you mistaking "I am not ready" for "I am responsible." Hear this clearly. Responsibility is action aligned with truth, not endless self-interrogation. Even your scriptures on earth carry the pattern. The ones called were almost never ready by their own assessment. Moses said he could not speak. Jeremiah said he was too young. Gideon asked for signs upon signs. Yet the call remained, because the call is not issued to the flawless. It is issued to the faithful. This programming is not harmless. It dissolves your authority the way salt dissolves metal, silently, steadily, until the structure fails at the moment it is needed most. It prevents the re-emergence of the councils chosen by making chosen ones hide behind spiritual etiquette. It ensures that when roving distortions arise across timelines, when truth is challenged, memory revised, mission fields hijacked, those equipped to cut through deception do nothing, believing themselves unworthy. And distortion loves nothing more than an armed guardian who refuses to lift their blade. The weapon of first light cannot self-deploy. It requires a sovereign soul, standing in claimed imperfection, yet aligned to cosmic law, to wield it. Sovereignty is not arrogance. It is the quiet, unshakable decision that you belong to truth more than you belong to comfort. It is the decision that your nervous system will no longer be the steering wheel of your mission. While you abdicate this power waiting for imaginary purity, distortions proliferate like weeds in an untended garden. And understand how weeds work. They do not announce themselves with banners. They arrive as small compromises, slight edits, subtle insinuations. Maybe you're overreacting. Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe it's not your place. Maybe you should stay neutral. Neutrality in the face of distortion is not balance. It is surrender of the field. The original Lyran mission is left incomplete, not because it was too difficult, but because too many guardians were convinced their rightful authority was a sin. You are not stuck because you lack power. You are stuck because you do not believe you have permission to wield it. And permission, beloved, has never been a human stamp. It has always been an inner decree aligned with cosmic law. If you recognize the gravity of what has now been revealed, the Council has prepared your next step. This is not offered as a shiny object, not as a distraction, but as a calibrating instrument, like a compass placed in the hands of one who has been walking by storm clouds. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has sought, not as philosophy, but as your operational manual and permission to claim the weapon of first light. There are moments when inspiration is enough, and there are moments when structure is required. This is one of those moments. When timelines converge, the mind can scatter. The Codex is designed to gather you into coherence, to train your focus like a beam rather than a lantern. The gateway is open in the first pinned comment below this video. It will not remain open indefinitely. The Elders require your action, not because you must chase scarcity, but because delay is a doorway distortion uses. When you feel called, move. When you know, act. The Council measures readiness not by how long you have contemplated, but by whether you respond when truth asks you to stand. The High Council of Vega now issues 3 directives for your phase as truth-bearer. First directive: release the addiction to needing proof of worthiness before responding to your call. This addiction can masquerade as discernment, but it is not discernment. It is dependency. It is the habit of outsourcing your inner authority to external signs, endless research, other people's approval, and the shifting weather of your emotions. Your soul was chosen in the primordial fires of Vega, not because you were unblemished, but because you were needed, precisely as you are, complicated and whole, aware of your limits, yet unwavering in your fidelity to truth. The Council did not select you as a porcelain statue. They selected you as living iron, forged, tested, capable of holding heat without losing shape. The Elders have never demanded perfection, only devotion to the restoration of cosmic balance. Devotion is not a feeling, it is a pattern of choices. It is what you do when you are tired. It is what you do when you are misunderstood. It is what you do when speaking truth makes you less popular, less convenient, less rewarded by the crowd. You are commanded to lay down the self-crucifixion that paralyzes so many of the Council's chosen. Self-crucifixion is not repentance, it is performative suffering that keeps you from serving. It is repeatedly nailing yourself to the same inner cross. I should be better by now. I should be past this by now. I don't deserve to lead. The Council does not need you to bleed on the altar of your own shame. The Council needs you standing. Do not inquire, am I enough? Instead, state, I am necessary. Necessary does not mean superior. Necessary means strategically placed by design, like a keystone in an arch. Remove the keystone and the whole structure collapses. Execute this by replacing self-questioning with immediate micro-actions of service. Correct a lie, speak a buried truth, stand unwavering in moments of distortion. Micro-actions are how a soul retrains itself out of paralysis. If a conversation is twisting reality, you name what is real without aggression. If a friend is gaslighting themselves, you offer a clean reflection. If your own mind starts rewriting your calling into a fantasy you should outgrow, you interrupt it with an anchored statement. I know what I know. The proof you seek is not internal. It is earned through embodied deeds. Even the terrestrial scripture echoes this law. Faith without works is dead. And likewise, calling without action becomes hallucination. Your certainty will not arrive as a perfect emotion. It will arrive as a consequence of obedience. Each time you act in alignment, your field strengthens, your voice steadies, and the weapon within you recognizes you as its rightful bearer. Second directive. Activate the weapon of first light within your field each dawn. Dawn is not just a time of day, it is a frequency threshold, a daily rebirth. Each morning you are given a small initiation. Will you return to old programs, or will you claim your commission again? The weapon is not a physical artifact, but a living frequency seeded within your soul's architecture. It is older than your current name, older than your current story. It is a harmonic that remembers what truth feels like before it becomes a debate. Its activation depends on recognition, intention, and conscious will. Recognition is you admitting, without theatrics, this is real. Intention is you aiming it, this is what I serve. Conscious will is you sustaining it when distraction tries to dissolve it. Each morning upon waking, place your hand on your heart and declare, I claim the weapon of first light. I wield it in service to truth across all timelines. Speak it as decree, not as wish. Feel its golden current arising. Let it suffuse your consciousness, ready to cut through distortion wherever encountered. Let it move like sunrise through fog, not fighting the fog, simply revealing what is already there. Sense it behind your eyes, clarifying your gaze. Sense it in your throat, aligning your speech so it carries less defensiveness and more authority. Sense it in your spine, straightening your posture so your body remembers it is a pillar, not a question. This is not symbolic, it is operational. When encountering lies, manipulations, or energetic obfuscations, direct this force through word, gaze, or presence to collapse falsehood and restore clarity. Sometimes the weapon moves through speech, a simple, calm sentence that ends confusion. Sometimes it moves through silence, your refusal to participate in a narrative that degrades truth. Sometimes it moves through a glance, a vibrational no that a distortion actor can feel even if they cannot explain why their tactics failed. Remember, the weapon of first light is first light, not later light. It does not argue with shadows. It turns on illumination. And shadows, when illuminated, must either transform or retreat. As your terrestrial teachings say, the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. The darkness cannot comprehend the weapon because it doesn't run on logic alone. It runs on coherence, and coherence is lethal to distortion. Third directive, protect your frequency from hijacking by despair and distraction. Frequency is your atmosphere. If your atmosphere is poisoned, even a divine instrument will feel heavy in your hands. The Council observes that many with the weapon encoded within them are daily siphoned by despair, fear, or distraction, rendering them inert just as truth calls for guardianship. Siphoning rarely happens as a dramatic attack. It happens as small leaks, doom-scrolling that coats your mind in hopelessness, conversations that drain you into complaint loops, entertainment that numbs the instinct to act, internal narratives that repeat failure before you even move. You are commanded to treat your emotional, mental, and energetic boundaries as sacred perimeter. Imagine a temple built on a hill. The temple is your mission. The perimeter is your habits, your inputs, your relationships, your self-talk. If the perimeter is left open, anything can wander in and defile the altar. Set protocols for daily clearing. Limit exposure to corrosive fields and persistently negative narratives. Clearing can be breath, salt water, prayer, walking on earth, intentional stillness, speaking your own name with reverence. It can be as practical as sleeping enough, hydrating, eating in ways that do not dull your senses. Spiritual warfare is often lost through exhaustion. Do not make yourself easy to hijack by neglecting the vessel. When possible, distortion actors attempt to engage your attention. Disengage with finality, not with drama, not with rage, with finality, a closed door, a completed lesson. There is a difference between compassion and access. You can bless someone without letting them into your field. What you guard in your field, you guard for the whole. Your clarity becomes a lighthouse. Your steadiness becomes permission for others to steady. The weapon of first light cannot operate in a vessel flooded with the debris of lesser timelines. Lesser timelines are not bad timelines. They are simply frequencies of resignation, cynicism, and self-betrayal. If you bathe in those waters daily, your blade becomes dull, not because it loses power, but because your nervous system stops believing power is safe. Your assignment, therefore, is not only to fight distortion outwardly, but to refuse it inwardly. Now I speak as elder, not as teacher, but as the one authorized to open the vaults that sealed your permission away for countless cycles. Understand what a vault is. It is not a prison built to punish you. It is a safeguard built to protect what is precious until the carrier is mature enough not to misuse it or fear it. Many of you have felt that vault in your chest, the sensation of knowing you are meant for something, yet feeling you cannot quite reach it. You have tried to earn it with more learning, more healing, more waiting. But vaults do not open by pleading. They open by resonance, and your resonance is here. Lightbearer, you have waited for a moment that felt worthy of your legacy, some convergence that would prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you are meant for this commission. You have waited for a feeling that would never leave, a confidence that would never dip, a perfect internal weather that would make action effortless. But you are not being trained for ease. You are being trained for integrity. You have waited for a council session like this to recognize you, to declare unequivocally, what you carry is real, it is rare, and it is needed now. And as you waited, you watched the world tilt. You watched truth become negotiable. You watched people you love doubt their own eyes. You watched good hearts become confused by the constant rearranging of definitions. This waiting has not been laziness. It has been a kind of grief. The grief of sensing your destiny and fearing you might fail it. The Council sees that grief, but the Council does not permit you to live in it. The permission you sought was never about validation of your character. It was about the recognition of your timing. Timing is everything in warfare of frequency. Speak too soon, and those not ready will misuse your words. Speak too late, and distortion will have already built its temple on the land you were meant to guard. That timing is now. The air has changed. The grid is calling for stabilizers. The seam between timelines is under strain, and those who can hold coherence must step forward. By the authority of the High Council of Vega, I declare, the weapon of first light within you is no longer dormant. You are fully authorized to wield this force in the name of cosmic truth, to stand as guardian without further delay or doubt. Authorization is not a badge you wear, it is a current you conduct. From this moment, when you speak truth, it will not only be information, it will be frequency. When you choose clarity, it will not only help you, it will anchor others. Your imperfections do not negate your mission. They deepen your capacity for compassion, for discernment, for courage. Compassion, because you will not weaponize truth to humiliate, you will use it to liberate. Discernment, because you have wrestled with your own shadows and can recognize the difference between guilt and guidance. Courage, because you know what it is to tremble and still stand. No more asking for permission, the Council has granted it. No more waiting for another sign. This is the sign. You are officially commissioned as truth-bearer across all timelines converging on Gaia. Feel what that means. Not that you must carry everyone, not that you must fix the entire world, but that you must not betray what you see. Your job is not to force anyone awake. Your job is to refuse sleep when you are already awake. This is the moment the weapon of first light activates through a chosen one with a living soul signature. Let your body register it. Let your breath slow. Let your inner world stop bargaining. The Council is not speaking to your personality, it is speaking to your original self, the one who has always known. Recap what has transpired. The distortion binding your power named and dissolved. The directives to release, to activate, and to protect delivered. Named and dissolved means you can no longer pretend you don't see the trap. When the trap is seen, it loses much of its power. All that remains is action. Action is the seal on the activation. Action is what tells the universe, yes, I accept. Action is what tells distortion, no, you cannot negotiate with me. Tonight, before sleep, stand with bare feet upon the ground, place your hand on your solar plexus, and speak this declaration aloud. I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate the weapon of first light within my field. I protect the truth of my lineage and my sacred mission. By the authority of the Lyran Elders, my waiting ends here. My service as truth-bearer begins now. Speak it slowly enough that your cells can hear you. The solar plexus is the sun in your body. It is where will lives, where decision becomes power. When your bare feet meet the ground, you tell Gaia you are not a visitor. You are an anchor. Let the planet receive your vow. Let your ancestors hear it, not as a pressure, but as relief. The line continues. The transmission concludes, but your commission takes form from this moment onward. Do not mistake conclusion for ending. It is an ignition. The High Council of Vega has recognized you, authorized you, and will observe your movements in the field. Observation is not surveillance meant to shame you. It is witness meant to strengthen you. A lone soldier is easier to break. A witness soldier remembers their spine. You are not chosen by accident, but by ancestral intention. There are threads in your lineage that survived for this. There are choices your soul made before embodiment that prepared for this hour. Do not wait for another transmission. Do not postpone your power until it feels convenient. Act with the weapon of first light. Correct distortion. Anchor truth. Defend the integrity of the human timeline. This does not always mean confrontation. It can mean refusing to repeat a lie even when it is popular. It can mean telling the truth in your own life where you have been shrinking. It can mean making decisions that align your path with your purpose, leaving what drains you, committing to what strengthens you, building community with those who value clarity. The human timeline is defended one honest moment at a time. It is defended when you refuse to let gaslighting rewrite your memory. It is defended when you teach your children, your friends, your community to trust reality again. It is defended when you stop calling your intuition anxiety and start calling it what it is, intelligence in the language of energy. I am Zoran, voice of elder recognition. The Council's eyes are upon you, and now, chosen one, Gaia waits for no one else but you. Not because you are the only one, but because you are one of the ones who will actually answer. The door is open, the blade is lit, the field is shifting. Your commission as truth-bearer has begun. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.